now tuned in to the Cold Hard Truth, Cayman's #1 hard-hitting live podcast show, where we feature some straightforward conversations on political, social, and celebrity news and all things happening in the Cayman Islands and around the world. This show was created to give the people a voice and a means of being involved and informed without any filters. Sometimes it gets crazy, but we always keep it real. We bring you the tea, piping hot, so grab your favorite beverage and join the conversation via WhatsApp at 324-1612. Email tips at CaymanMarlRoad.com. Now, here's your host, Sandy Hill, broadcasting live from the beautiful Cayman Islands.
Good afternoon. My name is John Tibbetts. I'm the Director General of the Cayman Islands National Weather Service. For the past few days, we've been tracking, along with the National Hurricane Center, an area of concerned weather that has moved across and into the Caribbean Sea. Today, as it approaches the island of Jamaica, or just to the south of Jamaica, the National Hurricane Center has upgraded it to a classification of a potential tropical cyclone number 26. The track of this system has it moving west at about 10 to 15 miles per hour, and it is forecast to approach the Cayman area tomorrow evening. At that time, it is expected to become a tropical cyclone and pass through the Cayman area starting tomorrow evening. The Cayman area can expect cloudiness and heavy showers to spread across the Cayman area from about 3 to 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and the tropical storm force winds spreading into the early part of the night. Tropical storm force winds are expected to remain across the Cayman area until about 9 a.m. in the morning. Potential tropical cyclone number 26 as of 4 p.m. this afternoon is located at 16.6 north, 76.6 west, or about 90 miles south of Kingston, Jamaica. At this time, based on the path and the intensity of the system as well as the forecast, the Cayman Islands has been placed under a tropical storm warning as of 4 p.m. this afternoon. The Cayman Islands can expect cloudy and overcast conditions to spread across the area from tomorrow afternoon. Predictions are for about something in the order of about 3 to 5 inches of rainfall, so the Cayman area can expect quite a bit of flooding, localized flooding with this system. Wind speeds getting up above tropical storm force winds, up to about 50 miles per hour, maybe even 60 miles per hour in gusts. It'll mean that all boats should be in safe harbor in all 3 of the islands. The tropical storm force winds are expected to extend to the sister islands, and so even though the storm is close to Grand Cayman, it is passing to the east and north of the island, and so the band of tropical storm force winds will reach the sister islands.
Okay, good morning, folks, and welcome to another segment of the Cold Hard Truth. This is your host, Sandy Hill, just making a few last-minute adjustments here to, that wasn't a good idea, to my lighting so that we can get this show on the road. We've got some updates for you, obviously, in terms of what is happening with now thunderstorm Delta. Let me just start the live on Instagram. All right, good folks. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We have a lot of ground to cover today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We do have Alric Linday, who's going to be joining us a little bit later on this morning. We are waiting for him. in the meantime, let us get some morning updates on what is now Tropical Storm Delta. So, as predicted last night, we said that I guess Delta's a she. I don't even know. We have, when we do the normal names of the storms, we do know that those are male, female kind of associated. But when you get into the Greek alphabet, do we characterize them as male or female? I don't even know. Anyway, the storm's name is Delta. I think that's a female. I don't know. So yes, named, updated as of 7 o'clock our time, which is 8 o'clock in the US, would have been the last update. So just about 36 minutes ago. And we are on path for a very, very interesting set of circumstances. So Delta is going to pass just about, if you look at the projected maps, which I'm just going to pull up here in a second, Delta is slated to pass right over the Cayman Islands. I don't know if she could probably get any closer than this. Like, this is pretty much going to be a direct crossover, or at least within maybe 30 miles of us, which is relatively nothing. So let me just show you guys this on the screen. I know Instagram folks, my apologies, you can't really see. Actually, let me see if I can flip the screen around for Instagram folks. Yeah, sorry. The actual, the stand is in the way. My apologies. But needless to say, she is tracking very, very close to us. You see those little blue dots there where it says tropical storm force winds. And then we are really hard to spot on this map because they don't really put us on the map, to be honest. But you see the placement of Jamaica, and you know where we are in connection to Jamaica. So we're going to be getting some afternoon weather starting around 1 o'clock and continuing into the night, with the worst part probably starting around 10 o'clock. So here's what we have. Tropical Storm Depression number 26 has now strengthened into Tropical Storm Delta. Tropical storm warning remains in effect for the Cayman Islands, including Little Cayman and Cayman Brac. So some of the sister islands were inquiring about what their position was for this morning, and everyone should take this as seriously as possible. So buenos dias to Elizabeth, who is joining us on Facebook. We have Tara, Morna, Sai, everybody's tuned in this morning. Alice, thank you guys so much for making this your morning stop. I don't even have a glass of water. I'm going to have to pause and get a glass of water, but thank you so much. So so the latest updates came in at 7 o'clock this morning. This is the 25th named storm for the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season. Okay, so in addition to that, a hurricane watch continues for the Cuban provinces of Pinal del Rio. So Cuba is going to get some impact of this, the Isle of Youth, hurricane conditions for them, which means that essentially this storm is going to continue strengthening into the remainder of the day and into tomorrow. So for us here in the Cayman Islands, my apologies, the usual advice, which we went over last night, but in case you missed the show, you got to make sure that if you have any boat or watercraft, that you keep those, essentially in safe harbor. You need to make sure that you have protected them as much as possible. And the forecast is going to be 45 miles per hour winds with gusts a lot higher than that, potentially 60 miles per hour. So we're going to try to pull up the weather update. if we can hear shortly from the Weather Channel. I'm just trying to grab a few things here for a show. So that we can kind of just keep updated on where we are in terms of that. So obviously Hazmat has issued, I don't know if they put up this morning advisory yet as yet. We do get it, from the international sources, which are pretty much the same sources that they're using. And then we will put the information up as soon as we have it available. So normally they do an 8 o'clock, a 10 o'clock, so we can expect something a little bit later on this morning as well. So we'll continue, which would be about 7 o'clock. My apologies, 9 o'clock Cayman time. So we'll continue to monitor the systems and keep a really close eye out. So someone has just sent me, another photo. I'll bring this up in terms of what we are to expect today. So the interesting thing about this storm is it's actually moving a little bit away from Kingston, which puts us at, okay, got some breaking news here coming in from Foster's, but I think it's important for all of you to know. So thank you so much for Woody Foster. He's just absolutely awesome. So Foster's will be closing at 7 p.m. tonight and reopening at 9 o'clock in the morning. So please note that you're hearing that first here on Cayman Mall Road. If you need to go to the grocery store, basically you need to get there this morning. I'm just sending this out to our WhatsApp news group. By the way, if you are not on our WhatsApp news group and you're one of those people who loves to get the news like quick, even quicker than you see it on our platform normally, the best way to do that actually is to join our news group, our WhatsApp news group, 324-1612. You can simply send us a message with your contact details and we'll be happy to add you to that. So how it normally works is we put up notifications in the news group first and foremost, and then we will post it on social media. Sometimes it depends on what it is. There are times that we do not always put it on social media. It depends on what it is. So there are some bits and pieces that are exclusive to our WhatsApp group. Yeah. Sometimes we'll get news that we know is like 70% correct, but we're still fishing out the rest of the story. And in those instances, we tend to send it to the news group because a lot of people in our news group are very, very good at providing information on what's happening, and they may have heard something. So yesterday evening, I was telling you guys there's 2 stories in circulation that we're trying to confirm. The first one was about an alligator or crocodile in our waters. We have not been able to confirm that one as yet, unfortunately. And then the second one was that a young lady had died. A person had died was the news that we'd gotten in West Bay after being ran over by a vehicle. And it sounded strange, as most of these stories do. But yes, it turned out to be 100% spot on. The details are she was in a parking lot, the parking lot of her condo. I don't know how you run somebody. I don't know how you run somebody over in a parking lot, to be quite honest. But nonetheless, that's exactly what happened. She got ran over in the parking lot of her condo on Anderson, I think it's called Anderson Road or Anderson Street, in West Bay. And so she's only 30 years old. I heard that I didn't know her personally. I've never met her, I don't think, before. But I do understand that she was a really, really nice person. Just unbelievable, All of us think we're going to live forever and we're going to have fabulous lives and whatever, but this just really proves that life is unpredictable. There are absolutely no guarantees. And it has a way of throwing some curveballs at us that are really, really unexpected. We do know who she is, and by last night, right after the show, we had a positive identification on her. But we, especially in circumstances where people live overseas, we have not put up her identity as yet. But yes, people do in fact know who she is, and she's only 30 years old. So very sad. All right, folks. So in terms of the storm, I hope that everyone is making whatever necessary preparations you need to make. Do your grocery store run. We're going to go by the grocery store after the show to kind of see, what's going on essentially with that. And, hopefully it's nice and orderly. Nobody's panicking. I mean, yes, this is a storm, but it is at the same time a tropical storm, Delta. So I don't feel like there's any need for us to go overboard with this storm, but preparation is key. So the more prepared you are, certainly the better you will be in terms of, just just getting ready. Give me one quick second here, folks. I'm just trying to fix something on our website. All right, so what are you guys up to? Do let me know. Super interested to hear what everyone has going on this morning, other than preparing for the storm, of course. Secure your animals. We mentioned that last night. This is really, really important. The Humane Society also mentioned this. I was so glad to see that someone shared that link on our page because, it's not just domestic animals that we need to be concerned about, but it is also all of the livestock. So if you have right, so if you have cows, pigs, whatever, all of your livestock should be secured this morning for sure, in light of what is definitely coming our way. So bits and pieces of other details. My apologies. I'm just trying to fix a little issue that I see here to get this up and going. All right, so thank you so much. I've just received a few messages for people wanting to be added to the WhatsApp news group. Absolutely no problem. I shall do that. So good morning, Sue. Good morning, Grace. Doris, thank you so much. Ingrid, Joy, joining us from Texas. Miss Corrine from West Bay. The news group number 324-1612. I'll scroll it along the screen here in just a second. There we go. So during the morning show, you can obviously call in if you want to participate on that number as well. Brandon is working 9 to 5. Well, Brandon, your employer must be like, get to work. So yes, I guess some employers are thinking that it's not that big of a deal. I think where the big deal comes in is if your workers have not made any preparations to get ready for the storm, you will want to give them time to do that. And conditions will start to deteriorate. I mean, right now, it looks pretty nice outside, I must say. The sun is shining here in Newlands, Lower Valley, Savannah area. We had some overnight showers, and it was showering a little bit this morning, but you look outside and you think, oh, it's no big deal. Well, it's coming. So it is well on its way. So yes, Evelyn said that she catch some water. She's got some batteries for her lamps. She's going to fill up her generator and sit back and relax. Yes, that's the thing to do. Sit back and take it easy now after you prepared. So if you've not made your preparations, then by all means, we would suggest that this is definitely the time for you to do so. So good morning, Laura, Raymond, Okay, so give me one quick second here, folks. I am going to grab some water. So I'm going to pull up a commercial on the feed here while I just grab some water. And then we're going to check on Alric to see what time he's going to be joining us. And I'm monitoring. That's why you see my eye shifting. I've got 2 monitors here, and I'm keeping an eye on what's happening with the storm. All right, so one quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Miracle Brokers International is a shipping, moving, and logistics company. You get all our expertise in one stop. Our motto is shop, ship, and save. All shipments are important to MBI and will track your items during shipment, clear through customs on arrival, and deliver to your door. MBI will spend the time in lines to get your cargo for you so you can be more productive with your time. Miracle Brokers, the solution broker. 345-925-5989 or miraclebrokers.com.
Your patience. I had to grab some water because you never know when your throat's going to get super dry when you're talking. Atlas, good morning to you. How are you? Everything's good. Google says it's sunny in the Cayman Islands. Well, Google is absolutely correct. It is sunny at this particular time, but we can expect our weather to start deteriorating a little bit later on today. Projections around 1 o'clock. So, let me just see here. All right, good folks. So a couple of requests to be added to the news group. Absolutely, we can do that. Just send me your name as well, please, because we've got to save you in order to be able to add you to the news group, obviously. I'm just going to check in with our regional correspondent in Jamaica. All right, good people. So this is where it's at. We're going to continue to monitor this storm this morning for sure, with a view to getting you updated information here in terms of what is going on. So wonderful. Thank you so much. We've got about 5 requests to be added to the What's Up News group. All right. So that is Tropical Storm Delta. Good morning, Atlas. Hope you're well. Keisha, send me your name and number via WhatsApp, and we will certainly do that right after the show. So how are you guys feeling? I'm just going to check our email alerts to see if we have anything updated. So again, we've provided you with the 7 o'clock update already, and cloudy, rainy conditions, intermittent thunderstorms can be expected starting from this afternoon around 1 o'clock as Tropical Storm Delta approaches the Cayman Islands. Showers will be heavy at times, leading to low visibility and possible flooding of low-lying areas. So of course we know that. Gusty winds along with rough seas are to be expected in and around the heavy showers. The onset of tropical storm winds expected about midnight Monday night. So that has been adjusted slightly. Last night it was from 10 o'clock. So I can't recall if she slowed down at all, but movement is in west-northwest at 9 miles per hour. And we remain under a tropical storm warning. So the next update will be at 10 o'clock this morning. So 270 miles southeast of Grand Cayman. She's going to get a lot, I guess, Delta is she's going to get a lot closer than that. Maximum sustained winds of 40 miles per hour, but with expected gusts higher than that. So yeah, so that is where we at, good folks. So get out there, get your batteries sorted, get your wildlife, your pets sorted so that they are going to be A-okay, and do everything in your power to make sure that everyone is safe. If you need to top up your medications, by the way, there is an announcement in relation to the HSA. So let me bring that up on screen as well. So a lot of government entities will be closing this morning. So you've got to know who's closing and what hours and so forth. So Water Authority, as we indicated, they have decided that they will be closing their offices. And of course, a lot of these, whether it's Water Authority, CUC, they will now need a full complement of staff on board to ensure that they are prepared in the event of any major issues happening. So just give me 1 second. Let me see if I can pull up the the HSA notice, because they have indicated that there are some different hours going on. So let me just pull that off of the website here. So the Bodden Town Clinic for the HSA is going to be closing at 4 p.m. And again, this is all in preparation for the tropical storm. We have the chemotherapy unit. If you are a chemotherapy patient and you have an afternoon appointment, you should contact the HSA in reference to that. Obviously, some treatments are a little bit more urgent than others. So the chemotherapy unit, patients are being asked to contact directly if they have an afternoon appointment that requires rescheduling. So they will be rescheduling you. It's just a question of when you will be rescheduled for. The dental clinic is going to be closing early at 3 p.m. The eye clinic is closing early at 2:30 p.m. The dialysis unit, you should do the same as chemotherapy. Contact the dialysis unit directly so that they can sort out your appointment for you. East End Clinic is going to be open from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. only, so they'll close at 2 p.m. Immunization clinic, if you had an appointment for your kids to get any shots this afternoon, the afternoon clinics have been canceled. So there will be no afternoon clinics this afternoon for immunizations. Pharmacy is closing early at 3 o'clock. Physiotherapy and speech therapy, likewise, is closing at 3. Specialist clinic will be closing today at 2:30, and there'll be no surgeries after 1 p.m. So if you had a scheduled surgery, know that now it has been canceled. I guess emergency surgeries, they'll be on standby, obviously, for anything that's life-threatening that they have to do. And the Women's Health Clinic is going to be closing at 3 p.m. as well. Good morning, Louis. Thank you so much for your prayers. Louis is in the U.S., but of course, he is thinking about us and praying for us, and we certainly do appreciate that. Let me just see what other news we have here in terms of the storm and closures. So, so basically between the 4 a.m. update and the 7 a.m. update, Delta did increase, hence the change in name. And I've just received word that the Savannah Foster's parking lot is already full. Totally expected that. So it's gonna be a wait if you're there. Okay, so okay, folks, so that's where we're at. Yeah. So parking lots, I suspected would be full this morning in terms of the grocery stores. Like I said, there's no need to go in panic mode, but I totally understand that a lot of us actually live without a grocery. I mean, it's I guess strange because I do it all the time myself. And I know it's probably not the best, way to grocery shop, but I don't tend to keep a lot of perishable foods on hand in any event. Like I am definitely one of those people who likes to shop, every couple days I'll pop in and pick up a few things. I don't like to have an oversupply of groceries in any event. But it's times like this that you go, now I've got to make a last minute grocery run and deal with all of the issues of, having a million people at the grocery store at one time. So also confirmation that Foster's in West Bay is likewise packed. So no surprise there. So yes. Yeah, totally understand. All right, so how are you guys feeling about the storm? Let's hear from you. Good morning, Keisha. Immigration. Yes, I suspect that all customer forward-facing counters will be closing early. I haven't heard from immigration exactly how early. Let me just check and see if there's anything online. Of course, all schools, including UCCI, closed today and tomorrow. So I think that it makes sense that they would have definitely all closed today to give people the opportunity to prepare. And then depending on, if we have any cleanup to do afterwards, we can basically expect that there will be closures tomorrow as well. So they do not have anything on their social media pages in relation to works to say if they are closing early or not. They just have something about the Ready to Work program. But I would assume, my suggestion would be, listen, stay off of the roads as much as you possibly can today. Because, you would probably not, there's nothing new on here. I'm always surprised at how these organizations are not updating their social media pages, especially at a time like this when everybody wants to know what is going on. So CBC has an update from 5 days ago in relation to a Ganja situation. So just take the advice that central government has issued, which is basically if you're a civil servant and you can work remotely from home, that's what they want you to do today in any event. And if you take that advice, I think that you'll be okay. And they haven't really said a whole lot more. So we've got the Cayman Islands Humane Society. Yes, thank you so much for sharing this with us. I did want to bring this up this morning as well. So you guys know the situation with the Cayman Islands Humane Society. They are always in a very, very precarious situation when it rains, much less a storm. So they themselves are making the necessary preparations to get ready for the storm. And here's an advisory notice from them. They're saying that we need help. Tropical storm coming our way tomorrow. We need people to take animals home for 2 days. So please, if you're able to help the Humane Society, we encourage you to do so. They have a number of dogs in their outside kennels who need to be able to get out. They need to get them out of the facility for the 2 days. So they have over 50 dogs in the shelter, and they're asking for the community's help. So anyone who can go today, I think this was posted last night, staff will be ready from 7 a.m. onwards. So yes, that makes complete sense. So from 7 o'clock this morning, you can go now, listen, keep listening to us on your phone, drive over there, head over there, because the Humane Society definitely needs the help this morning. So they do such a fantastic job with, pets that are unwanted. They help to neuter and spade dogs and cats all the time. And they really rely on the assistance of the public. So as you guys know, they are a nonprofit organization. And being a nonprofit organization means that a lot of times they don't have all of the resources that they would love to have to be able to do everything. And guess what? Things cost money to do, folks. If you've not recognized that, especially here in the Cayman Islands, it costs money to get things done. So let me just, yes. So essentially, they're asking for people to home a dog or two or a cat or whatever, if you can. So if you have the space in your home and you can do that, please reach out to the Humane Society. They're saying to just come on by. Like, they are literally on standby waiting for you to be able to do that. So all right, good folks. Any other advisories come in? Thank you so much to the astute person on our WhatsApp group that shared that. So Ms. Sue confirms that yes, Foster's Countryside is already manic. And I totally believe that. No surprise there at all. I'm just checking to see if we have any other notices or advisories that we need to make you guys aware of. Okay. So thank you for sending that through. Let me just see if there's anything else that I can tell you guys at this particular time. So we're just watching a lot of the local government pages to see what they're putting up. So nothing else really at this particular time. Let me just see if we have. So the same video that we played at the onset of the show is the last video that they have up. Sorry. So yeah, that's the latest for sure. So it's now a name storm. National Hazard Management Council met yesterday at 5 o'clock. I'm assuming that they are going to meet again today if they've not met already this morning, and that they will be providing some additional updates in terms of, what we need to be keeping an eye out for. So already people having issues in Jamaica. They're under severe weather watch. One transformer exploded in Kingston and somebody has a leaky roof. So we have to be thankful that most of us will not have those issues quite yet. And we'll have to wait and see how the onset of those happen. All right, so A&E will remain open. So that's obviously emergencies, the EMS, emergency medical services, general practice, and acute care clinic will retain their regular operating hours just in case. Just remember also that the Water Authority has closed they're closed today. They sent that out last night. And needs assessment unit is closing from noon on Tuesday. I think that that is an error. And they probably meant noon on Monday, because it's closed from noon on Tuesday. Okay. So does that mean that they have regular hours today? That's a little bit confusing to me. But maybe I'll try to confirm that. But that's what the government press release said. Needs assessment unit is closed from noon on Tuesday. Port Authority is going to open the warehouse this morning, but close at noon to finalize its preparedness measures. Anyone who's isolating at home who may need shelter is going to be placed in the government quarantine facility. And again, all schools are closed both today and tomorrow. Any government event that was scheduled for today and tomorrow, including graduation, Older Persons Month, all canceled for now. Okay. Civil servants asked to work remotely on Monday, and they said a decision is expected to take place on the closure of civil service offices around midday today. So we're waiting until midday to find that out, but the storm is literally right around the corner. And we should start having incremental weather at midday. So that's a little strange that we're going to wait until then. Wow. So another person has just informed us that the lines at Kirk's, literally to the back of the store, even the 10 items or less line. Wow. Crazy. Yeah, I believe that. I need paper towels if anybody wants to bring me some paper towels. So basically all the grocery stores are packed. Give me 1 second here. I'm just going to check on Alric to see if he is ready. So it looks like about half of Cayman needed to go to the grocery store this morning. Okay, well, that is what it is. All right, so let me just check on Mr. Alric. I don't know if he's out preparing people or what he's doing. Maybe he forgot about us this morning. We did speak with him last night and confirmed. If not, the show must go on. All right, so I don't know if he forgot us, but let's continue. Carol, good morning to you. Carol says that she was at Kirk's at 7:30 and it was packed then. Why aren't people more prepared? You know what, Carol? I think it's like a psychological thing. The second you hear a storm is coming, no matter how prepared you are, there's always that one thing on your list that you can think of that you need. So, ordinarily, I wouldn't be going to the grocery store this morning. I wouldn't be thinking of anything that I actually need. But as soon as I hear a storm is coming, I'm kind of like, let me just walk through the aisles. And I think that that's what happens, Carol. It's probably not even that we're not really that prepared, because I always have batteries on hand. I always have spare batteries. I've got my lights and everything. And I've always got a stash of canned food, because canned food lasts for years. So you don't really have to buy it that often. But I think it's a psychological thing. The second you hear a storm, you're like, oh, I got to go to the grocery store. And sometimes you're just walking around like aimlessly picking up stuff. Like, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think most people are at the store? I mean, Sue, presumably you're at the store and that's how you can tell us that it's manic and it's packed. What are you at the store for? What are you picking up? So Lou Gems is asking about the category of the storm. So it's still a tropical storm at this particular point. Okay, you can check the menu. So yes, it's still a tropical storm at this particular time. And I guess we will continue to, sorry, I'm just trying to find something here. I have no clue what this person is telling me to do. Yeah, so it's still a tropical storm. It is getting a little bit closer to us than initially anticipated. And it now has a name, which means that it's sustained winds of, which, by the way, let me just pull up. Let me just see how we. Let me just pull up the different storm types, because a lot of people don't really know this information in terms of like what's a hurricane versus what's a thunderstorm. So let me just see if I can. Let me just see if I can get this up. Types. So tropical storms. Let me just see if we can find a good definition. Yeah, because people are like, what's the difference between a tropical storm and hurricanes and all that good stuff? So let me just see if we can get. So we know hurricanes, we have 5 categories, 1 through 5. And
the system is still moving incredibly slowly. And even as the main center point of this finally begins to exit.
So 1 second here. So tropical storm is defined as, I think it goes up to 45 miles per hour before it's named. So in South Asia and East Asia, they call them typhoons. In this part of the world, the US and the Caribbean, we refer to them as hurricanes. They start off as a tropical cyclone, which is basically a rapidly rotating storm system characterized by a low pressure center, a closed low level atmospheric circulation, strong winds, and a spiral arrangement of thunderstorms that produces heavy rains or squalls. And it goes from the tropical cyclone, which is sort of its initial formation, into a tropical storm. Let me just see. I'm trying to remember what winds tropical storms start at. Okay, so a tropical cyclone can go by different names, including hurricane, typhoon, tropical storm, cyclonic storm, tropical depression, and simply a cyclone. So I think anytime it reaches like 40 miles per hour, it then becomes, when it's sustained winds of 45, I believe is when it's named. Hold on 1 second. All right, so tropical storms are given names when they display a rotating circulation pattern and wind speeds of 39 miles per hour, which is 63 kilometers per hour. And of course, it does not develop into hurricane until wind speeds reach 74 miles per hour. So not a hurricane yet, thankfully, folks. It is anticipated that Delta probably will become a hurricane, but by then it should have moved away from us and hopefully no intentions of turning back. So yes, quick definition there. That should be helpful. So we've ran out of hurricane names already, the traditional hurricane names. So now, as I indicated earlier, we are in the other alphabet, which is the, which the name has just escaped me of, but you guys know which one I mean. The Greek alphabet, there we go. So yes, this is, I think, the second time in history that they've actually run out of hurricane names, which is pretty interesting. So Suyapa says, any news if restaurants will be closing early? No news as yet. So this is a good question about private sector. So the government does not mandate to private sector what they should do or what they must do. It kind of just says follow suit in terms of what government does if you'd like to. So that means that there's no way to know what a particular business will do. I think that if you are a restaurant, though, obviously allowing your staff to get off a little bit early to make any necessary preparations that they may have to is probably a good idea. But yes, unfortunately, Suyapa, that will happen on a restaurant by restaurant basis or business by business basis. So Chad is saying, and the first time was a millennium year. Millennium years are crosses. So what time is it coming? So we should see some deterioration in our weather conditions starting at around 12 o'clock today, 1 o'clock, going into the 1 o'clock hour. And then a bit later on. So give me one quick second here, folks. I'm just going to save this. So essentially we're gonna see the worst of it closer to midnight. So it'll be a rainy afternoon. Of course, winds will be picking up and kicking off, but into the night is when the worst of it will come. So I think that that's good news, though, because for me, I believe that, at night, and I think this is kind of what helped us even with Hurricane Ivan, if you guys will remember, not having to be awake during a lot of that storm probably saved a lot of people. Although I must say that if you were one of the unfortunate people that, would have been crawling into your attic space because you had so much flooding in your home, which included areas like South Sound. It was crazy. But yeah, if you're one of those people, then it coming at night probably was no comfort to you for sure. But having said that, I must admit that for most people, just being able to kind of sleep through it a little bit, not have to be on the road. It was like the old adage, what you don't know can't hurt you. That isn't a true statement, but in times like a storm, sometimes I think that reduces the amount of stress that people actually feel about a situation. Because no one knew, I got to be honest, quite honest with you, no one, I think, knew how devastating Ivan was when you were inside. You didn't appreciate the level of devastation until you went out the next day. Like, honestly, I remember going out and I saw, as soon as I stayed put with a friend of mine in the Savannah area. So now it's Savannah Newlands Road, right? So right off of that area, that's kind of where I stayed put with some friends. And so I had actually left dogs at home, which was crazy. And so I was very, very concerned about my dogs. And I'm thinking, okay, I need to get to my dogs. I need to see, what's going on. And so I made a mad dash after the storm to actually walk out on my own, which was stupid. I wasn't going to get very far walking, but I did make it to the top of the main road. And when I started to see some of the devastation, literally, I started crying. I was just like, oh my God, thousands of people have to be dead. This is horrible. Just rethinking what happened during Hurricane Ivan, which is actually the last storm. When you think about it, that was 16 years ago, but that was the last storm that we really had to even prepare for or do anything with. So we have been so incredibly fortunate. Oh my God, I'm sitting here thinking about this. It's making me want to cry all over again. But yeah, think about this, right? So eventually I was able to get out in a car, and it was shocking, to just see properties flattened and debris everywhere. And it was really tough. Yeah. So, I think we all went through that. It wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. So, just a stark reminder of how incredibly fortunate we've been. So Sue says maybe they weren't expecting this to come, so they just opened Sunday. Yeah, so Sue's making an argument for why don't we have grocery stores open on a Sunday anyway. So that's a possibility of something to think about. But, like I said, it's been 16 years. So Jess says, I pray to God Delta doesn't fall in love with us like Ivan did, and it doesn't stick around as long as Nightmare Ivan did, but it will continue moving and that it's not turn around and come back. So Jess makes a good point. I mean, obviously Delta is nowhere near Ivan. Ivan was a Category 5 storm, which is crazy. So, that's not terrible compared to, that was terrible, but compared to now, Delta's okay. So yeah, there also is the concern. We've seen this happen before. I think it was the same year as Ivan, actually, where one of the storms, I don't think it was actually Ivan, but there was a storm that went up and then kind of looped back and came back at us for a round 2. And we were just like, what the hell? So somebody wants to know which case. This is the case where they finally got a conviction, I'm assuming. So Instagram folks, my apologies for not live streaming with you guys as much as we do. We're obviously on Facebook every single day live streaming. But yeah, I give Facebook people a real-time update. So basically it's been postponed yet again. Anytime you're in court, folks, trust me, things get postponed on a regular. That's how they operate. They do not appreciate the value of anybody's time. So the judge took a month longer than he promised to have the written judgment. When he read it out, he said, I'll have it for you in a couple of days. And that was a month and some change later that we finally got it. So they pushed back everything in terms of the sentencing. So 9 cases in 10 years, and they finally got 1 conviction. So yeah, it is what it is. And we are I'm looking at my options in terms of how to proceed. So we'll have a sentencing hearing. What am I expecting? What are they going to do to me? There's a possibility, yes, if they really wanted to send me to jail. I've never been convicted of anything in my life, so I don't think that that's a concern. I'm hoping for nothing on my record, or a conditional discharge, which, listen, if they can convict someone of fraud on the government with the immigration case and give that individual a conditional discharge, this is a much lesser offense than that, folks. So we're not going to really worry too much about it. But I am preparing myself because I will be handling my sentencing hearing myself. And I will be gathering my reference letters. So I do have a number of those already. And so, yeah, so I'll get those reference letters together. So KY1, Antoine wants to know, do I know what I'm saying about what exactly? Yes, I know exactly what I'm saying. Okay. Instagram folks. Louis says that he has a dog named Delta and she is a hurricane all the time. Oh boy. Sue, thank you so much. We've had storms since Ivan. Oh yes, the BRAC had Paloma. Thank you for reminding me of that. But other than that, I don't think we've had anything else that I can think of. Nothing comes to mind, I got to be honest with you. Let me see. Nothing on Hurley's. Yes, Karen Foster's Countryside is jam-packed. They certainly are. Let me just check and see if Hurley's has posted anything in terms of their opening hours. And then if not, we will contact them directly. So Hurley's Marketplace. Nothing posted. Okay. Let me ask. All right, so in case you've just joined us, folks, Foster's Food Fair is jam-packed, and they will be having reduced hours today. They're closing at 7 p.m. tonight and reopening at 9 o'clock in the morning. So that is where we're at with Foster's, so make sure that you're aware. Airport Foster's was crazy this morning as well. So yes, Sharon, we've pretty much heard that all of the Foster locations, probably with the exception of East End, I don't know how busy that one would be, but they've all been jam-packed: Savannah, Airport, and West Bay. Okay, so yeah, that looks good. Okay, so yeah, so Instagram wants to talk about the case. We'll have to do that another day. We're trying to stay focused on any storm alerts or storm updates. I'm actually trying to bring up the weather channel here in a second for us so that we can just have a look at what is going on. Give me one quick second here. Okay, so news. All right. Okay, so Weather Channel. We're going to pull up what we can here for you on the Weather Channel so we can get the latest update from them. So everyone is kind of watching this storm for sure. And give me 1 second here. We're going to see if we can likewise make this available.
Motion detected at the front door.
Motion detected at the front door. That's Alexa telling me what's going on. So yes, I think Alric might have forgotten about us this morning, folks. He might be busy running to the grocery store and got caught at the grocery store. But just give me 1 second. Let me just see if I can pull up the Weather Channel and get real-time updates on what is happening. Okay, so anybody else out there trying to make some preparations? Sue, Jess. Okay, so we just have a spinning circle here this morning. Just bear with me. I'm gonna see if I can pull this up. Okay. All right, let's try it again, folks. Let's try it again. News. All right, so the National Hurricane Center is obviously watching this very, very carefully. You know that they are most concerned about any weather system that they perceive to be a potential threat, in particular to the U.S. So we keep an eye on it because obviously we have interests in this area. But yes, the U.S. is also tracking the storm quite carefully as well. So I think Jamaica will have some weather, but we're going to get the brunt of it because it does appear that it is coming directly for us at this particular time. All right, so far this morning, it appears to be a little bit of business as usual. So I can confirm that Hurley's will also be closing at 7 p.m. and reopening at 9 a.m. So they have taken the same steps as Foster's in terms of their opening hours. So folks, please make note of that. Foster's and Kirk's, and I'm presuming, not Kirk's, sorry, Foster's and Hurley's. I'm presuming that Kirk's is going to do the same thing because pretty much all of the grocery stores tend to operate a little bit in unison with one voice, so to speak. And when they make a decision, it's normally not long before the other grocery stores will also announce a similar decision. So yes, folks, both Hurley's, good morning, Nancy, and Foster's have confirmed. We will see what is going on with Kirk's as soon as we get some confirmation and some messages from them. All right, so what else is going on in terms of preparations? I'm just going to send this out quickly to our WhatsApp group in case you guys are not listening to the show. You'll still know what's going on with Hurley's as well. Okay. All right, so Mr. Lindsay was going to be joining the show this morning to talk about traffic. And gosh, there are a lot of traffic woes. Well, I'm sure this morning, but all mornings coming from the Eastern District in particular. And he's got some suggestions. So as you guys know, here at Cayman Mall Road, we are going to be your go-to spot for the upcoming election. So thus far, we have a number of candidates who've announced their candidacy. So in case you've missed it, please go to our website, and there is a section called Campaign 2021. I should probably change that to Election 2021. Yeah, I think we should change that to Election 2021. All right, so we'll get that done this morning. But basically, we're going to be on the campaign trail with a number of anyone who declares. So thus far, we have Alric Linday and Michael Miles declaring their candidacy for 2021. Alric has announced that he's going to be running in Georgetown South. We need to look at the boundaries map, because I know a lot of you guys don't even know where the boundaries map is kind of divided now that we have one man, one vote. But Michael Miles has declared for Prospect. So he's one of several people that will be running in Prospect. We have Kathy Ann Wilkes, who is going to be running for West Bay Central. So Kathy Ann ran in the last election, and she is actually going to be going up against Captain Eugene yet again. And considering that last time was her first time out of the barn, so to speak, she actually did fairly well. She was within, I think, 93 votes of Captain Eugene, so not too shabby. We've got Dr. Frank McField, who was the third person to declare his candidacy for Prospect. So, of course, the incumbent is Austin Harris, and they are going after Austin with a vengeance, it seems. Everybody wants a piece of Prospect. And then we also have Gina Williams, who is going to be running for Savannah. So she has also declared her candidacy for Savannah just last week. So I see some of you asking for the decriminalization of ganja. Actually, I got to be quite frank and honest with you. They have already decriminalized ganja quite a bit. Like you're not going to face the same sort of penalties. I mean, they give you, when I say decriminalization, it's not like you can just go around smoking it all day. It's still a criminal offense. And, the penalties have been sort of adjusted whereby you're going to be worked with. If you're found with a spliff, nobody's going to throw you in jail for months and months on end type thing anymore. So again, we've just received the press release from Foster's just this minute. Foster's and Price Right will close at 7 p.m. this evening and reopen at 9 a.m. They're fully stocked, and their warehouse and store teams are working to ensure product is on the shelf throughout the day. They're asking for customers to plan their shopping trip today and come with a list, as stores will be busier than usual. So good advice there. Thank you so much to Foster's for that. And of course, the reason why you want to follow a list is that you're less likely to walk in there wandering all over the place if you've got a list in your hand and you know exactly what it is that you are looking for. So perfect advice. Yes, you're most welcome. So Hurley so far has said that they will do likewise, 7 p.m. and reopening at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Someone just asked about the courthouse. That's actually a really good question. Let me see if I can inquire and find out from my sources on WhatsApp. So just give me one quick second. Because a lot of you may have court this morning. And so let me see if I can find out for you. And I will advise. I am assuming the courthouse would be closed, but you know what they say when you make an assumption? So let us just confirm. It would make logical sense to me, though, that they probably would be closed, but let's find out, because normally by midday, court is finished, but that means that you're not able to get about your business. So let us just see what my sources have to say on that. And we'll let you know here shortly. What are the closures? We're still waiting to hear a little bit more, but it looks like most of government, I would say, to be on the safe side, is going to take the position that that they will be closing today. And why not? All right, good folks. Just trying to see if there's anything else kind of breaking here that we need to inform you of. And an immediate, here we go. This is what I'm looking for. All right, so we're waiting in response about the courthouse. As soon as we get that, we shall certainly let you know. A couple of birthday shout outs this morning. Why not? Don't let Hurricane Delta spoil your birthday. Virginia, happy birthday to you. Gendron, I think is how she pronounces the last name. French, it sounds like. Sophia Dixon, Sophia's birthday is today. Carla Rodriguez, the beautiful Carla, is celebrating a birthday today as well. Marcia Connor is also celebrating her birthday. And Darna Dilbert Parchment has a birthday, as well as Natalie McLean. So big birthday to all of you. Hey, birthday shout outs to Paul. Paul Halvestor's birthday was yesterday. Carrie Frazier's birthday was yesterday, and so was William Bodden, the pilot. A lot of you guys know William. So happy birthday to all of those individuals as well. So quite a few birthdays lined up here. And we've got some in the coming days that we'll be announcing also. So let me just check and see if we have... Yes, thank you. We've just announced that. So someone just messaged and said, OMG, you've got to see the inside of Cost You Less. It is mad crazy. By the way, can you pick me up some paper towels? Since you're there, why not? Grab me some paper towels, girlfriend. Yeah, so all of the stores, I'm pretty sure, are crazy. I would not be surprised. All right, so what else is going on here? That person said that's actually what they went for as well, was paper towels. So yes, okay, all right. Got it. Anyway, folks, crazy. Let me just see what else is going on out there.
I knew that I was going to be okay once I got here.
Okay. So I'm trying to pull up weather here for us. All right, so let me just try once more for the Weather Channel. Getting a bit of an error message on my feed here. So I am trying to see. what we can do about that. So give me 1 second here. Weather channel. All right, good folks. Mr. Lindsay, where are you? What's your email address for PSAs? Oh, good. Okay, so we've got yes, bring me some paper towels, girl. It's only a 4-pack, but we'll take it. Looks like a 2-pack to me. Wow. I gotta show you guys this picture, right? So I don't think this is, I think this is toilet paper. So this is all that is left right now. So courthouse is open, folks. I've just received confirmation. So make sure you're there for 10 o'clock so that you do not get in trouble. So yes, the courthouse is indeed open today. Alric is finally joining us. Alric, where were you? We've been waiting for you. We thought maybe you forgot us, but just have a quick look before we jump in with Alric. Have a quick look at this picture from Priced Right this morning, saying that this is all that's left on the shelf at the moment, which we know they have indicated that they will continue restocking. But, you know, toilet paper and tissues, paper, since Ivan has been in short supply. So Instagram folks, can you, I don't even know if you can see this. Can you see that? Let me just see. There we go. Can you guys see that? That's all that's left at Price Right. That's it. So I will not be getting any paper towels today. Aw, that's a shame. So they're going to go try a few other locations this morning. But yep, that's it. No paper towels. As we would say here in the show, what a hot mess. Alric.
Yeah,
good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I see that we're out of paper towel this morning.
Yes. I was trying to get some this weekend, to be fair, before we even knew about the storm. But Cost You Less didn't have any on Saturday when I went by. So I thought, oh, I'll just wait until Monday. And here we are on Monday. And it doesn't look like I'm going to get any today either. But that's okay. I think I've got 1 roll or 2 left. So I'm not completely out. So we'll be okay for the next couple of days. But thank you so much for joining us. I don't know why there's a haze over your
Let me see if I can. 1 second.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna just pull Alric from the stream there and let him sort that out. Give him a few minutes, and then he will be back with us here shortly, and we can certainly start the discussion then. So I am just checking a few things here in the meantime. So Alric, let me know when you're ready. He's just sorting out his stream. So good morning, Marshall, all the way from North Carolina. Thank you so much for joining us. We've got Caymanians all over the world, folks, who are tuned in, looking for some news and some information. They're keen to make sure that their Cayman families are going to be okay. So let me just see. So I think that's Alric ready to rejoin us. Good morning, Alric. Are you ready?
Yeah, good morning.
All right.
Can
awesome.
You see?
Yeah, I can see you.
Yeah, I was, since we have this storm coming in around 1 o'clock today, I wondered if you wanted to go through the items that we needed for the home, or if you've gone through those already.
Yeah, we've covered that already.
Okay.
So we covered that last night, actually, and we have likewise just did a little recap this morning. We are waiting on the 10 o'clock update. So as soon as we get that in, we're definitely going to be sharing that with folks. I'm actually trying to, in the background, pull up the Weather Channel at some point as well, but we're just having some technical difficulties with that. So we'll let you, looks like Alric, his image has gone a little bit wonky again. There you go. You're back.
There's one thing I want to mention about that. Each community is supposed to have a community emergency response team, what they call a CERT team. So those of you who have a CERT team, or if you're not aware, if you have an emergency response team in your neighborhood, you should contact your representative who can give you the details of the members of that CERT team. What the CERT team does is they help the community to prepare for national disasters. So, for example, Windsor Park has a CERT team. And so those people would be the people who would come out during a disaster to assist the elderly or to assist people who may find themselves in trouble during a storm. So make sure you reach out to your representative and ask who are the members of the community emergency response team. So
now, where is this team? I've actually never heard of this before, so I suspect that if I've never heard of it, probably other people haven't either. Is this part of, what is this part of? This is part of the hazard management team, or what is this exactly?
Yeah, so hazard management Cayman trains members of each neighborhood to become sort of qualified members of the CERT team. So they would go through stuff like, CPR, different situations involving natural disasters, and how to prepare other people for it. So there should be a group of people in each community that have been trained by hazard management. Sometimes that training takes place on Little Cayman, for example. The last set of training that was supposed to be done, I think it was in December, but I think that was postponed. Of course, COVID happened, so I'm not sure if training actually took place after December, but training is available for disaster preparedness for certain members of the community, and that is supervised by hazard management. So I realize that some people probably haven't heard of a CERT team, the community emergency response team, but your representative should have all the details and can put you in touch with members of that team.
Okay. All right. So that's the first. Thank you so much for sharing that information with us.
And if you want more information on the CERT team, the information is on caymanprepare.ky.
I was actually having a look at that website last night. I'm just going to pull it back up this morning. There's a number of websites, Alric. It gets a little bit confusing. The government says to us to make sure that we stick to official sources for all of our news information, which is fine. But people were sending me, they're forwarding me a message yesterday from the premier about things like, this, let me tell you what the website is called, weather.gov.ky or something. And that website has actually not been updated in quite some time. So we're getting these messages that say, refer to this website for updated information. This is your official source. And yet, as of yesterday, that official source had not been updated for a little while ago. I mean, now it's saying a tropical storm warning is in effect. But as of last night, that website hadn't been updated as we were getting that message. So,
well, I think that's why it's so important to have Cayman Mall Road, always on top of everything. So,
we appreciate that. We appreciate that. So Cayman Prepared does have a 7:50 a.m. update, so that's fantastic. And you're saying that on this website, we should also be able to find some information on where these emergency groupings, what are they called again, Alric? I'm sorry.
The call community emergency response teams.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on the website now too. So
see if you can find it, because I'm not finding it. But what I did find was a PDF document that has a family emergency plan. So you've got important phone numbers, family medical conditions. This is good actually to have written down in case something happens to kind of the primary person. You fill this out, you stick it in a Ziploc bag and put it somewhere in a prominent location. So you can put what medications people need, how often they need to take medications, what the physician's name is, physician's phone numbers, friends and neighbors. So this is when it becomes really, really important for us to keep in contact with our friends and neighbors and know precisely who these individuals are.
So if you look across the top of the page, you'll see CERT. That'll give information on the CERT team. So on prepare.ky, look across the top of the tabs.
All right, let me just back up here. Yes, very good. Thank you, Alric. So community emergency response teams, there you go. Very good. Never heard of them before. So you learn something new every day, folks. And this is why someone like Alric is going to be incredibly useful when he becomes a representative, hopefully for Georgetown South in May of 2021, because Alric stays on top of a lot of information. As you guys know, Alric is actually a trained and qualified CPA, as well as an attorney. And Alric does not mind getting his hands dirty. He's out there working in the community a lot. So Alric, thank you so much. Nobody ever talks about this community emergency response team. So I'm so glad that you provided us with this information. Now, knowledge is power. So Alric has informed us, and I'm going to put the link in the comment section of our current discussion. So please have a look at that. Just an announcement that has just come in from the museum. The National Museum is going to be closed today. And give me 1 second here. Through Tuesday, due to the inclement weather as anticipated from Tropical Storm Delta. So thank you so much for the National Museum for providing that information to us. So again, another government department or agency, technically the museum I think is a little bit separate, but they have decided to close. So everyone, please share that information in case you're planning a trip to the museum, which probably may not have been a bad idea otherwise. But kindly note that the museum will now be closed.
Have the official sources talked about whether and the shelters might be open to some of the people who are in low-lying areas? Because
yes, so the official sources haven't said anything yet this morning, really. So last night, let's just review what came out last night. So we've done the HSA clinics. That information came out around 9:34. Water Authority came out at 9:04. And the government issued something at 8 p.m. basically saying that the Red Cross shelter on Holda Avenue is on standby in the event of flooding. So I know for sure that Carolina and her team will be preparing for that today. I'm actually going to just WhatsApp her because I know she's very, very busy. But let's see if we can get any of those individuals on board with some information. But yeah, Red Cross is always on it. So I'm pretty sure that they are in preparation mode, laying out some beds and getting their shelter ready if need be.
Yeah, I was just curious because, you know, some shelters are set up as emergency medical centers and other shelters would accept pets. So for the people who have pets who may be in low-lying areas, you know, who may experience flooding, I'm just wondering do we know if Red Cross is also a place that would accept pets?
This actually came up when they had the fire the other day, and sometimes they're able to accommodate pets. I think it certainly does. It depends. So let me just
So normally,
Okay.
in normal cases, when we have a more dangerous storm, this is just for information purposes for the public. In Georgetown, you mentioned the Red Cross on Holder Avenue. So that was one normal shelter for storms. In a more serious storm, you would have John Gray High School gymnasium. You'd have Georgetown Primary School Assembly Hall. You have UCCI Hall. You have Prospect Primary School, which is also an emergency medical center. And then in West Bay, you would normally have John Cumber Assembly Hall, the John Gray Memorial Church, John A. Cumber Primary School, in East End, Normal Bay Community Hall, William Allen Center. North side, you got the Craddock Ebanks Civic Center, Clifton Hunter High School Gymnasium. Over in Breakers, you would normally have Breakers Community Hall. Bordentown, you have Bordentown Primary School. Savannah, you have Savannah Primary School as well. And then let me see, over in Cayman Brack, Aston Brothers Center, West End Primary School, Animal Shelter, the Ark, Little Cayman, Public Works Department Building. And if you want more information on any of these shelters, again, it's www.prepared.ky. It's just important to know, where these shelters are located in the event, if the storm takes another turn and hazard management decides to open some of these shelters. It's important for people to know where they are, especially, you may have people who are new to the island as well and not familiar with the shelter district. So those are just some of the shelters to go to if hazard management decides to open up some of these other places. Hopefully it just remains as a few strong winds and it doesn't turn into anything more. So in the meantime, like you say, you'll get confirmation that.
Well, I've just received confirmation from the Red Cross. Obviously, they are in the thick of trying to get ready, but they are not a pet shelter. So if you have a pet, that's not the place you want to go, basically.
Okay. Interesting. So the normal pet shelter in Georgetown would have been John Gray High School Gymnasium. And they're in the north side, or the one that's stated as a pet shelter is Clifton Hunter. That's all I can think of at the moment. So hopefully there's something in place for pets somewhere. Hopefully the official resource will announce that. Like I say, I think that it's good to have this information on the available shelters, which ones take pets or not. So that's great that you just reached out to Red Cross and confirmed that they're in a shelter, because now those owners of pets would have to try to find a different arrangement. So at least we know that now, and we're not in a huge hurricane now. So at least we know that now, so that if a hurricane does approach us, we can start to explore those options for pet shelters, because pets are part of the family as well, Yep. Because I mean, you have your puppy.
Yeah, she's a senior citizen these days, actually. So I was actually telling people last night that she is not fond of storms anymore. I don't think she was ever fond of them, but I've noticed that as she's gotten older, she definitely reacts a little bit more nervously to storms. So we have to have a plan to keep her as calm as possible, because we also have a toddler in our household. So having a 4-year-old and a senior dog is quite a combination. But I'm very much aware that there are people who have elderly parents and grandparents in their homes. So they have a lot of other considerations as well. So folks, we have Lou Gems asking for an update. So we should be having an update. I would think any second now. I was actually just checking the Weather Channel to see precisely what they had going on. So we're going to keep you guys as updated as possible on the actual weather alerts. So yes, we should have another one at least within the hour so that we can see exactly where the storm is tracking. So yeah, Alric, I mean, all of us will have unique situations. And of course, we are right in the middle of COVID and the borders reopening as well. So that's another crazy situation, yeah?
Yeah, well, like I say, I hope that people can reach out to their representative and get information on the community emergency response teams and their areas. It's a pretty important team, you know. So important people get information on those teams.
Yes. Now, is it possible that if we've never heard of these teams before, that, I mean, I see here that we do have established team contact information. So apparently West Bay has one. That's Jenny Powery at gov.ky. Windsor Park has one, Dawn Major. But her email address is samantha.macfield at gov.ky. North Sound Gardens. Where's North Sound Gardens?
Yeah.
It's Brenda Dawkins. Is that North Sound Estates? So that's Brenda Dawkins. Brenda star22 at hotmail.com. And prospect is Mark Rickman. And it's Mark at harborhousemarina.com. So those are the only ones that we have so far in terms of established CERT team contact information. So what about the rest of us?
That's a good question. Ideally, you know, there should be a team of trained persons trained by hazard management in each community. So you're right. That's why I say it's important to reach out to the representative in the area and find out who the members of the team are and ensure that your area has coverage. Because you know, these CERT teams are specifically established in the case of national disasters. So you know, these are the people that you're supposed to reach out to during a disaster, and also reach out to you as well. So it's very key. So if you can't get through to your representative, try to get through to hazard management. Most likely Mr. Simon Boxall. He will have the details of the information for each community. I hope there's one for you, Sandra. Obviously, they don't want you reporting on that.
Well, I mean, I don't see one for Savannah. I don't see one for Newlands. Like I said, I don't know where North Sound Gardens actually is. I don't know if that's part of North Sound Estates. I don't see anything for East End. I don't see anything for most of this island now that I think about it. But nonetheless, there are 4 of them. So I will share that information here, and we will try to get more information about these CERT teams. But there's their information. I noticed that ironically, some of them obviously are government persons with a government email address, and then some just have a private email address. You would have thought that this the CERT team would have like a CERT website with a proper, you know, john.doe@cert.ky or whatever. So I guess they're still very much in the planning stages.
Definitely, Mr. Simon Boxall is going to have the most up-to-date information for each area. And, since we know what hurricane season is, up until the end of November, I would have thought that, at least discussions would have gone into place to create CERT teams in more areas. But like I said, I think Mr. Simon Boxall from Hazard Management is going to have the most up-to-date information, especially in the area.
All right. Well, we'll reach out to him a little bit later on this afternoon, or this morning, my apologies. So the grocery stores, Alric, are packed. I guess that's no surprise to most of us. What are you telling residents, particularly in Georgetown South, about the need to always be prepared when it comes to storm? And by the way, Linda, thank you so much for mentioning her opinion that borders should not be opening until after hurricane season. Not happy with the decision to risk COVID outbreaks during hurricane season and the need for safe shelters. Lisa from Kim Brack, she said, for people with bedridden patients, pay close attention to the weather information and take the necessary precautions. Tammy reminds us that some shelters do allow pets, but not the Red Cross headquarters, which I think is the only shelter the Red Cross actually has at the moment. So yes, thank you guys so much for that additional information. So Alec, in terms of your, neighbors and, community members in Georgetown South, that area has some flooding when you get a lot of rain. What recommendations? Do we know if NRA is out cleaning and some of the drains in preparation for the rain that we'll get over the next 24 hours?
I know the NRA was out within the past 2 weeks. I'm not sure if it was in preparation for any storm, but NRA was out cleaning a lot of the areas. So thanks to NRA for that. I'm not sure what they've done specifically for any storm, but I know they have been out there in the street. In relation to flooding, Windsor Park historically, for example, had a big flooding issue. So NRA has put a couple drains on some of those streets, like Oakmill Street and nearby. So there is actually less flooding in that area now, which is good news. Good work by NRA for that. So the huge flooding that normally takes place is not as bad as how it was years ago when it was left unaddressed. So we're happy that NRA is addressing some of those things. And that issue isn't because I remember in some places, after we had some rain, it was very difficult to actually get your car through. So around by, if you're like around by East Boulevard area, for example, that area used to get a little flooded and used to be difficult to drive your car through. So, like I say, luckily, NRA has put in some drains in some other areas. So that's provided, a solution for residents. In other parts of Georgetown South, I don't know. What I wanted to do today was, sort of drive around and obviously I'm not a storm chaser, but I do like to take a look, like right after the rain comes down to see how different areas are doing. So that's also something I'd like to do, sort of after this storm as well, to see, which other areas might need attention and try to get NRA on those things as well.
Okay. Just another announcement. Digicel has informed us that their stores, their retail stores, are going to be closing at 12 o'clock. And they're obviously reminding you that you don't even need to go to the store for things like topping up your phones and recharging. You can do it with the My Digicel app. And I'm sure Flo will probably likewise be issuing something shortly. In addition to that, yes, supermarkets. We haven't heard from Kirk Market as yet. However, it does appear that the supermarkets are taking the position that they will all be closing at 7 o'clock. Both Hurley's and Foster's have now confirmed closing at 7 p.m. this evening to give people an opportunity to, essentially get themselves sorted. And then they're going to reopen at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. So Alric, we have just a few minutes left in the program. We do want to get out there and see what's going on the road as well. So we're probably going to head out here out of the studio. But just any final thoughts? We didn't get to discuss your topic at all this morning, so we'll have to reschedule you for that. But just any final thoughts for people going into the storm now?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, try to use Cayman Mall Road for your updates, and also keep track of prepare.ky for up-to-date information, and also to learn whether any of these other centers are opening up as shelters. The shelters I mentioned earlier. When you're going to the supermarket, just like Sandra probably already mentioned this morning, make sure you get your canned goods, a couple gallons of bottled water. Make sure you have your flashlight with extra batteries. Make sure you charge your cell phones. And if you have a portable charger, make sure that is charged as well.
Good point about the portable chargers, yes.
Make sure that's right, because I think you have some information on chargers yourself, right?
Yeah, but those are not portable ones, but I do have quite a few portable ones around the place. I'm glad you reminded me to get those charged up as well. So just a quick notice from Home Gas. So Home Gas will be in both Grand Cayman and Cayman Brac closing at 2 p.m. Today. They will be closed tomorrow, and they're going to be reopening at 6:30 a.m. on Wednesday. So again, if you're a Home Gas customer, please know that they're closing today at 2 p.m. So hopefully you guys had, gas arranged. You don't need any last minute tanks, but just in case, they're closing 2 p.m. today, closed tomorrow, and back again, opening at 6:30 on Wednesday. And it looks like this storm is strengthening as we predicted. And we're now probably looking at winds about 60 to 65 miles per hour. So it's inching ever so closely to being a proper Hurricane 1, probably.
Well, hopefully that doesn't happen. I mean, the other items I would remind people of are especially those in low-lying areas, are things like, having your waterproof pouch for some of your documents. The smaller storm is a great opportunity to make sure you have your stuff in order for a larger storm. So, having your documents protected in some sort of waterproof pouch, or get your first aid kit in place for your family. If you happen to have a generator, make sure that that's working. For the children and the elderly, those that need any special medication, make sure those prescriptions are filled this morning. And if there's any special items that the elderly might need, or people with special needs may need, make sure you have those things in place. And then if there are things that you need to do for yourself, have some tools in place, pliers, screwdriver, bottle opener, can opener, small knife. You never know what you might need during a storm. Have your candles in place as well. Just in case for whatever reason your batteries and your flashlight don't work. So that's what I would say. Make sure you go through your checklist again, and make sure you have the things that you need for you and your family. So again, like I say, make sure you have your water, flashlight, charge your cell phone, first aid kit, generator if you have it, medication for children and elderly, really important stuff. So especially if you're new to the island, make sure you have this checklist when you go to the store and you get the things that are needed. Hopefully there's some toilet paper this time around.
Good luck with that one. Someone has just sent a message saying C3 network has popped down already and the storm hasn't reached yet. We will reach out to our pals over at C3 to see what is going on with their network. So that's not good, because I think a lot of us, Alric, will definitely be relying on the internet staying up for as long as possible. Normally, our internet and our utilities are pretty resilient, unless there's some sort of water main break or something like that. But they're normally pretty resilient, and they will stay up until the latest possible time. In fact, were you here during Hurricane Ivan? Did you ride out Hurricane Ivan in the Cayman Islands?
Yes, I actually rode part of it out by around by Fairbanks.
Okay, because I'm trying to recall, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I'm kind of thinking that we didn't lose power for Hurricane Ivan probably until it started to hit like maybe a category 3. Like when the winds really started to kick up there, and CUC could see that power lines were definitely coming down. That's when they started to, as a precautionary measure, to shut down the island in terms of power.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I thought all I can remember is the water coming up to the window. That's all I remember. I don't think we were worried about power at that time.
You're worried about being able to swim out of there, hopefully.
Yeah, so I assume, what I don't remember, at what stage the power went out.
Yeah.
Or if that was just an organized shutdown by CUC.
Mm-hmm.
I
think normally CUC will shut it down once it gets to certain, I guess they know kind of what their poles can take, and they will tend to shut it down. I've got neighbors outside trying to get some last minute lawn work done, moving of debris and stuff, because all of that, I said this last night, in fact, but all of those objects will become flying objects when you've got 50, 60 miles per hour winds out there. So some people are asking about the banks. There's been no official word from most of the banks. Last night, CNB did issue a notification that in relation to Cayman Brac, that they would be closing the Brac, or Little Cayman, I think it was actually. So yeah, this was last night. They said the Little Cayman Customer Service Center today would be closed, which is kind of strange. But anyway, they closed the Little Cayman location, but nothing further in terms of the other locations, or the banks in general have actually not made any statements or press releases as yet. What I think is probably going to happen with the banks is I would not go today if I were you, unless it's something urgent. Do your banking online, ATM. Always keep a little bit of cash. This is a hard one for me, Alric, because I'm not a person that walks around with cash hardly ever. So, when they tell you to have a little bit of cash in case the ATM machines go down or we have any sort of outages of that type, I'm the last one to have cash on me. So it's probably a good idea to remind people to have a little bit of cash as well.
Yeah, I think so. You just never know when the banking system is going to go down. It could be something as simple as something happening regionally with the headquarters. It could be that, and not even a storm. So you're right. Everyone, if you get a chance, try to have some cash on you, because if you go to the supermarket, for example, for whatever reason, it's not your fault that the system is down. If the system is down, it's good to have some cash on you. Hopefully people started that process yesterday.
Yes. So someone is asking by way of messenger if government will actually be having a press briefing. Will there be a government issued curfew as well for the storm? So none of that information has come out as yet. We are monitoring, like we said, all of the government resources to keep you guys updated. Oh man.
Yeah, yeah.
I've just oh, this is so horrible. Someone has just messaged me saying, I'm trying to reach my friend so-and-so who lives on that road, and she's 31 years old and she works at so-and-so. I'm not reaching her. I'm in Mexico. Please, do you have the name of the person who got hurt in the accident? Well, unfortunately, that exact person has passed away. And I hate to be the person who's going to give this young lady the news that her former co-worker has passed away in the Cayman Islands, but she's asking. Oh, she said, I know, I just got the news. Yeah, so sad day for this young lady. She is American. She's only 31 years old, lost her life last night. I don't even understand how you can kill someone in a parking lot, but I guess we'll find out more of those details as they become available. So unfortunately, we got the news a little bit later on. You always hope that when you hear news like that maybe it's a mistake, maybe it's not as serious. And it took a minute to flush it out. And my experience, Alric, having been in news, is that when it takes a while to confirm the details, normally that means that the person is not a Caymanian, because we're so interconnected that if a Caymanian got killed, like within minutes, you're like, okay, it's this person, their family is so-and-so. We don't always get 100% initially, but pretty much people are going to know it's a Caymanian that's been killed. Unfortunately, when it's a worker it's here in our shores, it takes a little bit longer to flush out. So probably after 9 o'clock, so right after I finished the show last night, we got confirmation of who it was and that she had indeed passed away. So my condolences to her family. We will put up a bit of information because like I said, we do know who she is, but we're trying to wait until hopefully her family overseas have been properly notified before we identified her. A lot of people who work in the tourism sector and tourism industry would actually know exactly who she is. So our sincere condolences to her family today. All right, Alric, that's all she wrote for us today. Please stay tuned. We will be keeping an eye, folks, on what's going on. Alric, we're going to rebook you for later in the week after this storm has passed to come on and talk about the traffic woes facing us, particularly in the Eastern Districts. So I wish you a safe day.
Well, I wish you a safe day too. And, I hope all your audience stays safe and all of Cayman stays safe. I know your audience is domestic and international. So I hope all of your audience stays safe and, keep tuned to Morrow Road for the most up-to-date information.
Yep. Well, we're trying to get the news feed up here shortly with the Weather Channel. So stay tuned. We'll probably restart the live as soon as we get that working. Instagram folks, have a good day. And try to behave yourselves. And let me just see here if there's anything else. So yes, supermarkets are closing at 7 o'clock, reopening at 10. And we're going to try to get the latest, because we're due for an update fairly soon now on the actual weather conditions. It looks like some strengthening is actually happening of the storm. So we shall keep you guys updated. So a lot of businesses are closing, are shutting down, and grocery stores packed to the brim. If you can stay away from the grocery stores, and if you don't absolutely have to go, don't do it. Just stay put and start to prepare yourself. Okay, that's it. Alric, thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, have a good day.
Thanks, you too. All right, folks, we're going to end this stream now because we got to get some updates rolling for you guys. Unfortunately, we can't live stream everything to Instagram in particular because of how Instagram works. Instagram always wants you to use your phone. And so we will be pulling a feed from somewhere else. It's got to go through the computer. So check Facebook, if anything, and we'll keep you guys updated. Have a gorgeous day, folks. Be safe and get ready to ride out a stormy night. But guess what? We have ridden out far worse than this. So it's going to be A-okay. Have a blessed day, good people.
Thank you for tuning in to another edition of The Cold Hard Truth. Make sure to check Facebook for showtimes and more information and the latest news at CaymanMorrowRoad.com. Subscribe to our IG and Facebook pages to get the latest happenings.